The press conference wasn't supposed to be anything special. At least, that's what the media had been told. A small charity event at a mid-range hotel ballroom in downtown Manhattan. A few cameras, a couple of interviews, and maybe a handful of celebrity appearances to keep the sponsors happy. But when Brynn Whitfield walked into the room, all of that changed. She was dressed in a sleek, cream-colored dress that hugged her figure just enough to draw whispers. Her makeup was understated, her hair swept back in a simple twist, but there was something in her eyes, a quiet intensity that made every photographer lift their camera a little higher. She didn't smile as she stepped up to the podium. The low hum of casual conversation faded to silence. Brynn placed her hands on either side of the microphone, steadying herself. "Thank you all for coming," she began, her voice calm but carrying a tremor underneath. I wasn't planning on speaking today, but there's something I need to share." In the back row, a reporter from Page 6 raised an eyebrow, sensing a lead. Across the room, a cameraman adjusted his focus. They had all heard the rumors about Brynn and Sam Heughan being seen together outside the hospital, about her mysterious absence from the public eye in recent weeks. But no one expected anything more than a denial or a carefully worded statement. Then Brynn took a breath. "I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air like a gunshot in a church. A split second of stunned silence was shattered by a flurry of noise. Cameras clicked in rapid succession. Reporters shouted over one another. "When did you find out? Is the father someone in the public eye? Brynn, is this related to your relationship with Sam Heughan?" Brynn raised her hand, signaling for calm, but her voice was steady when she spoke again. "I know there will be questions. And I know this is going to change things. But I'm not here to hide. The father of my child is." She hesitated for the briefest moment, eyes flicking across the room as though deciding whether to step off the cliff. "It's Sam Heughan." Gasps broke out. A reporter near the front actually dropped his pen. Someone whispered, "Oh my God," loud enough for it to be caught on the microphones. Brynn could feel her pulse pounding in her ears. She had imagined this moment 100 different ways, but none of them looked like this. Flashes going off so fast she could barely see. Reporters leaning forward with predatory excitement. Phones being raised to livestream her every word. The questions came like machine gun fire. "Does Sam know? Are you two in a relationship? When was the last time you saw him? Was this planned?" Brynn didn't answer any of them. She simply stepped back from the podium, her hands trembling now, and nodded to the event coordinator. "That's all I have to say for now." The coordinator, pale and wide-eyed, tried to usher her toward the side exit, but the crowd pressed in. Microphones were shoved toward her face, camera lights nearly blinding her. She managed to slip out into the hallway, heart racing, the muffled chaos still spilling out of the ballroom behind her. By the time Brynn reached the privacy of her car, her phone was already vibrating non-stop. She didn't have to open it to know what was happening. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every tabloid in existence, all of them had the headline now. "Brynn Whitfield pregnant, names Sam Heughan as father." Within minutes, hashtags were trending. Some were supportive, many were not. Hashtag Team Brynn. Hashtag Protect Sam. Hashtag Heughan Baby. Hashtag Scandal in the Highlands. In London, LA, New York, anywhere Sam Heughan's fanbase existed, the debate had already started. Was she telling the truth? Was this a stunt? Where was Sam? At a cafe in Edinburgh, one of Sam's oldest friends stared at his phone in disbelief before muttering, "Bloody hell." In a PR office in Los Angeles, Sam's management team was already drafting holding statements and scheduling emergency calls. And somewhere in a quiet corner of the Outlander set, Katrina Balfe was reading the headline with a sharp intake of breath, her expression hardening as she muttered, "She really went there." But the one person who hadn't heard, not yet, was Sam Heughan himself. He was in the back of a chauffeured car on the way to a magazine photo shoot in Soho, blissfully unaware of the digital wildfire burning his name across the world. His phone was on silent, face down on the seat beside him, while he reviewed the day's schedule with his assistant. It wouldn't be silent for long. Sam's phone started buzzing just as the car pulled up outside the studio. At first, he ignored it, but when it didn't stop, 5 calls in under a minute, he frowned, picked it up, and saw his manager's name flashing across the screen. "Hey, I'm just about to." "Sam." His manager's voice was tight, urgent. "You need to sit down." "I'm all ready." "Brynn just announced she's pregnant. She told the press you're the father." The words hit him like a physical blow. For a second, he thought he'd misheard. "What?" "It's everywhere. Every outlet. Every social feed. We've got paparazzi outside the studio already. You need to be ready." Sam glanced out the window. Sure enough, there were at least half a dozen photographers clustered on the curb, cameras aimed at his car like rifles. He ended the call without another word, his pulse pounding. A knot of emotions tangled in his chest: confusion, anger, disbelief, and something else he didn't want to name. The moment he stepped out, it began. "Sam, is it true? Are you going to be a father? Have you spoken to Brynn? What does Katrina think about all this?" The flashbulbs were blinding, the voices overlapping into an incoherent roar. He kept his head down, pushing past them into the studio, but even inside, the questions followed him, assistants whispering, stylists pretending not to stare. He finally ducked into a private dressing room and locked the door. He didn't have to think about who to call. "Brynn," he said the moment she picked up. There was silence on the other end. "Tell me I didn't just hear this from the tabloids," he continued, his voice low, dangerous. Her voice cracked. "I didn't know how else to." "How else to what? Announce it to the entire world before telling me?" "I was scared, Sam. I thought if I told you privately, you'd push me away. That you'd think it was a mistake." He ran a hand through his hair, pacing. "Do you have any idea what this has done? My team is in crisis mode, my name's all over the news, and Katrina." He stopped himself, biting back the rest. "You think I wanted this?" she shot back. "You think I enjoy having my life ripped apart online? People I don't even know are calling me a liar, a gold digger, worse. I did this because hiding it was killing me." There was a knock on the dressing room door. "Sam, it's Katrina. We need to talk." He froze, the phone still at his ear. Brynn's voice was sharp. "She's there? Of course she's there. I'll call you back," he said quickly, ending the call before Brynn could respond. He opened the door a crack. Katrina stepped inside, her face unreadable. "Well," she said, crossing her arms. "You've certainly got a mess on your hands." "This isn't the time," Sam muttered. "Oh, I think it's exactly the time," she replied. "Because you need to figure out whether she's telling the truth, and you need to figure it out fast." Sam's jaw tightened. "You think she's lying?" "I think," Katrina said slowly, "that if she is, you're about to go through the ugliest scandal of your career. And if she's not, then your life just changed forever." 2 days later, they met in the corner booth of a quiet, dimly lit cafe. Brynn looked pale, exhausted, but her eyes didn't waver when Sam slid into the seat opposite her. "Is it true?" he asked, no preamble. She didn't blink. "Yes." The single word seemed to hang in the air between them. Sam leaned back, studying her face for any sign of doubt, any crack in the certainty. He found none. "Then why," he asked slowly, "did you choose to tell the world before you told me?" Brynn's hand tightened around her mug. "Because I wanted control of the story. Once I told you, it would have been your team, your PR, your narrative. This was mine." Sam didn't respond immediately. Outside, the late afternoon light was fading, shadows stretching across the street. He wasn't sure if the weight pressing on his chest was anger, or something dangerously close to acceptance.